Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Licklider here with my immediate reaction and immediate thoughts to tonight's episode of Doctor Who, which was Smile by Frank Trelboyce. Alright, I went into this episode expecting absolutely nothing. There's a reason In the Forest of the Night is called In the Forest of the Shite by certain people. It's not a very good episode. It's not well written. And Smile is an episode that deals with a planet inhabited by robots that use emojis to communicate, called the Emoji Bots. Well, by at least in the promotional material, they never really actually named that on screen, which is actually kind of a blessing when you think about it, because going into this, we got spoilers, by the way. It's a review, so that seems like something that would happen. Anyway, no, so, if this story, I feel like Frank Trelboyce was told the device to try to make it basic, and so that's kind of what he does. The story really just starts with, outside of a really awkward scene with Nardole, because Matt Lucas has to be in the credits somehow, you just sort of, it opens up with just this standard Dr. Arzon planet, something is wrong, we now must fix the thing. It's a very Doctor Who formula, which actually helps a lot when it comes to it, and it helps that, and the kind of a small cast helps develop Bill a little bit more, because, and actually, one plus the episode does have is there's this one moment where the music actually decides to back off for a bit and sort of lets sort of the audience just realize, hey, this is what's going on. Like, Bill's asking, oh, why do we have to help? We're just passing through, essentially. But then she notices police box, what it says, and it's just this really good moment. Sure, it's ruined in dialogue afterwards. I mean, in the dialogue scene takes about a minute, which could have been used to help resolve the plot, because actually a lot of the plot, other than the emoji bots, which really date the episode, though I do like the idea of emojis being used to tell someone's mood in a sort of, just in a very visual way. You could have had the robots just sort of be blank-faced. I don't know, that would be cool. And these are still kind of a silly idea. The story itself is actually for the first 30 minutes or so is pretty good. You get a solid build-up, and I hate to say it, I would have preferred this if this was a two-parter, because it definitely has a 45-minute syndrome, as the second episode could be 45 minutes devoted to just fighting the emoji bots, and on a cliffhanger with the colonists starting to wake up, and the second one could be this bloodbath while the Doctor tries to figure out a solution to fix the problem. But no, we just press the reset button, and we shoehorn in this weird idea of this fairy tale sort of thing that I guess it was explained earlier, but I really can't think of it really making an impact on the episode itself. I mean, yeah, sure, there was mention of the idea that there's a magic haddock, and it's essentially the monkey's tale where you can wish for 3 wishes. The man wishes for his son to come home safe, and 100 and an amount of money. So the haddock makes it so that the guy comes home from the son comes from the war in a coffin, and he gets 100 gold pieces recompense for his son's service and death, which is a really it's a pretty famous story about be careful what you wish for, and that's sort of what the idea is. But yeah, that was outside. It could have been done better. One thing that I did find interesting was, so if this is supposed to be one of the first ones, is this around the same time as the arc in space is supposed to take place? I'm not sure. It might be. It might not be. I don't know. I mean, there's also, it doesn't seem to. It just as an idea. It just doesn't seem to to sort of figure out where we are within the span of history, which that's what I kind of liked about classic, like a lot about classic, was how a lot of the history sort of feels from the same history, whereas this one, it just sort of seems like we don't know where we are. Um, what else do I have to say? A complaint I do have to say is that a lot of it brings up ideas of the Ark in Space and the Happiness Patrol. Ark in Space is, of course, a classic story, so it's good. It's of course, it's, if you're gonna emulate something, emulate the best. But it, and I mean, it doesn't do any of the body horror of the Ark in Space, which sort of makes the Ark in Space really, really good. So that's kind of nice that we don't get it like a total ripoff. And then the Happiness Patrol is, of course, the if you're not happy, you'll be killed, which that is just sort of, it's just sort of weird. I don't know why you want to do that one. Well, there are some other good things I have to say. A lot of the humor did work. There was one joke that fell flat. It was the weird portions joke. Like, I didn't really get it. That was actually pretty. That was a pretty cringy joke, but everything else was pretty good. I really like that we're leading right into Thin Ice, which watching the Next Time trailer really makes me think, it gets me ready for it, because this was an episode, that's an episode that I am definitely looking forward to. What else? What else is there that you want to touch on? Lawrence Goff directed this one again, and much like the pilot, this one has really good direction. He isn't able to make the emoji bots seem scary, but doing all like the little nanobot things and just a lot of filming in the city it sort of catches your eye in a way that a lot of classic had trouble with when it had white backgrounds. So he really knows what he's doing. And of course the location work in Valencia, Spain. I can see why they went to Spain, as I don't think there are any wheat fields really in Britain. It didn't really feel though like Spanish. Like everyone was making a big deal. Oh, it's filmed in Valencia. I mean, it looked great. Don't get me wrong. It just didn't really do much for me in the terms of why they made a big deal out of it. This is most definitely a better episode than In the Forest of the Night, because In the Forest of the Night that was really one of the worst episodes Doctor Who has done in quite a while. But I'm not quite sure what I want to give it. I mean, I believe the biggest problem, of course, is the ending. It's too quick. The ending is it's a letdown. It is a bad ending, and there really isn't an explanation to sort of stop this situation from happening again. I mean, it's a really dark scenario, and it's done really well for the most part, but it's just, right, they got a reset button, and they mentioned, oh, they're a living species, but, which is a good idea. It's a good idea of doing sort of the optimistic route with the whole artificial intelligence, which I actually kind of like, but I don't see how could this be done in a way to make it, just sort of not have history repeat itself. I don't know. So that's just something that's something that does bug me. And the ending, it just sort of hand waves everything away. Again, it really should have been a two-parter. I hate to say it. I mean, this part 2 could have been an extreme bloodbath, and it would have actually there was quite a lot of horror here. Like, a lot of the skeletons were really well done. It was just it just doesn't really do anything interesting. So I think I'll give it, because I believe the ending is paramount to a story. If you have a bad ending, the entire story can fall apart. I don't think the story completely falls apart because of the ending. There's still a lot of the good stuff to enjoy. I mean, Peter Capaldi and Pearl Mackie are both brilliant. Like, here, they just have this chemistry that Capaldi and Coleman never had, which I really like. And it makes me want to see more. And So I definitely feel like the entire just this season will be better than the last when it comes to at least the Doctor and Companion dynamic. Um, so yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give it because it's got a bad ending and the emoji idea is very very dated. I'm going to give it for an initial thing an initial review of 5 out of 10. So thanks for watching, everybody. And just a quick update: my next video will be the reactions to An Unearthly Child. Should be up tomorrow, as tomorrow we'll be watching part 4, and then after that, it should be, of course, next time when I react to Thin Ice, which I'm definitely looking forward to. Please leave a comment and tell me what you thought of this episode, and we can get a discussion going. Thanks. Bye.